All right, here we go. Well,
Okay.
Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. I do really appreciate it. So, of course, we all know the show Mary Poppins, but please tell us about your role in the show.
Well, I play the role of Bert, the chimney sweep, and also dabbles in other various trades. He's somewhat of like a quasi narrator in the musical version of this show, kind of like the stage manager in our town. He's an active participant and also a bit of an observer, and has this special connection with Mary Poppins that is kind of open to interpretation, I think, for the audience and as actors and creatives when we're putting this piece together. We're like, what exactly is their relationship? There's definitely a magnificent chemistry and a magic to it, and he kind of can assume some magical powers when she's around. And they're just a fabulous duo. So he gets to help in the lessons that Mary Poppins teaches the children and the family throughout the show, and has a great deal of fun doing it. And myself, as the actor, has a great deal of fun playing him.
Well, and I'm glad that you say that because, like, literally, this is the first time I've ever watched Mary Poppins, and I thought, okay, wait a minute, wait. So you're watching your interaction between Bert and Mary, and of course we know Mary's magic, but then I'm thinking, wait, is Bert magic too? And we don't know. And like you said, it does get you thinking about that backstory, and I'm like, there's got to be more. Now I need a Mary Poppins and Bert backstory show. I do.
I think we definitely need to do that. Yes, because I still want more answers, and some. I mean, I create some of my own answers. You know, you have to go, see like what are his reasons for wanting to be a part of this, for getting to be a part of this. And one thing that we talked about in rehearsal, which I actually really love, is that I think Mary visited Bert as a young child, and I'm coming from the angle that Bert was perhaps an orphan, and that she recognized this sort of magnificent, beautiful, magical spirit in him. That was one of the many children she reaches throughout her. How we don't know how many years Mary Poppins has been around, which is also particularly fun too to think about. It
Yes, we
opens up a lot of possibilities.
it does. That really is kind of a Pandora's box of questions. Of like, was A, can I get a bag like hers? B, what is her skincare routine? I have so many questions for Mary that I need to know.
That's those are great questions. I'll try to get those answers.
Perfect. I love it. Now you guys do so many incredible things during the show. You're singing, you're dancing, you're tapping, you're climbing all over things, you're of course flying. How long does it take to prepare for a role like this?
Well, we had in some ways I hear a luxurious lengthy rehearsal process with Tuts. Usually it's about 2 weeks with the full company of rehearsal, and then about a week of technical rehearsals on stage before we start doing a few previews before the opening performance. We had an extra week with the family, the characters, Jane and Michael Banks, Mary, myself, and um, to get started on the process early. And then we had about 2 weeks with the entire company. And it was a pretty exhausting process in that sense, because you're learning numbers really quickly and repeating that choreography again and again and again to get it right. um, but it also is an endurance building process. And then when we got into the technical rehearsal process, which, as you know from seeing the show, we have massive set, lots of costumes, lots of quick costume changes, flying, jumping on rooftops and all that. That was a pretty, we all had to say pretty focused and pretty intense to get that done in that just under a week period of time.
Wow. Well, you guys make it look easy and you make it look like you've been doing it for years.
Well, best compliment, thank you, because that's the thing. You don't want it to look hard. You don't want people to know how hard you're working to do this. You want them to escape and just enjoy. Wow, how fun.
And you guys absolutely take it there. Um, I do say one of the other things that is my favorite thing about the show is the accents in the show. And I even left the theater like with a little, I don't know, I just picked it up, that little British accent. And next thing I know, I'm on the way home in the Whataburger drive-through, I get a spot of fries with that. And it's like, do you guys find yourselves taking that accent with you places after the show?
Could I have me a small Coke, please? Thank you.
That's it.
You know, actually, we do. I mean, a lot of times in jest, but it just kind of has become part of our lingo. And I have to say, a few times I've texted Olivia Hernandez, who's a Mary Poppins, and I'll say like, "Me old body's tired today," and I'm like, I'm even texting it that way. It's just fun.
I love that. I really do. You have encompassed the role completely now. You are actually Bert the chimney sweep with
Yes, I
possible magic
live.
powers.
I live as Bert. I should have my cap on right now. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I was also thinking about with this is it has to be exciting for you and the rest of the cast, knowing that this is going to be so many people's first introduction into musical theater, since there are so many young people coming to see the show. What is your thoughts on that, and how does that make you guys feel?
It's honestly, it's a terrific thing to remember when, again, as I was saying before, we don't want anyone to see like the hard work that goes into it. You want it to be this effortless thing, but we are all human, and we're doing 8 shows a week, sometimes two a day. And it can get very tiring, but it's honestly thoughts like that, and when you see it, that make you go, oh, well, this is just like the greatest job in the world to get to do something like this, to bring joy to people. And especially, like, I think about myself as a little kid when I first saw Annie the musical, at like 7 years old. And you're just like, what is this glorious thing in front of me? And it can just inspire you, like it did me, to actually want to become a performer, or just bring something into your life that you didn't know you needed. And I do think that's a really special thing about what we do, and a good thing to always remember when there are those inevitable times you're like, okay, let's got to get the energy to do this tonight.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I do love about Tuts and what they do with their castings is they offer so much inclusivity with it. For example, this production, I know that they've included, several performers from the Humphrey School and from the River
Yep.
program. What is experience has that been like working with, this really diverse cast?
Well, first of all of those kids from Humphrey and the River are magnificently talented and lovely humans, and they always came ready to work and with a fabulous smile on their face. And so, as like a guest performer coming in, playing, somewhat a large role in the show, I definitely feel it always feels incumbent upon me to, have a good sense of leadership. Just in the sense of just like being engaged in the room, and it was just so easy and wonderful to work with all of them. And you just feel that sense that they're a part of something very special. And I love that we have such good representation on the stage that way, especially with our River kids. We have Jake, Abby, and Jesse, who are just glorious, glorious humans who can actually give some of the most inspiring pre-show pep talks I've ever heard in my life too. They and that really has been a terrific part of this experience.
I love that. I love that so much. Um, Taking it to kind of a lighter place, one of the things that we talk about, of course, you guys are doing all these amazing things, but of course, there's only one person in the cast that gets to fly. Do you ever think, hey, maybe Bert could have a turn up in the air?
I I think that all the time, and I desperately, desperately want to do that. Yes, I know. And like, and honestly, had we probably had more rehearsal time in a different situation, be like, can't Bert just like magically fly from rooftop to rooftop? Maybe could we get that in there? Um, yeah, I have been privileged to have done a little bit of flying in previous productions before, so I get that what it feels like, and it is. I get very jealous of it every time I watch her.
I would say that, but then right at the point where they're hooking me up and I'm way high in the air, I would probably freak out. So, see, there is that.
I was talking with Olivia, who's our Mary, about this. I said, for me, when I first did it years ago, it seems like it's instant. The minute you get taken up, you either love it or you're going to be terrified. And luckily, we were both in that camp of, oh, this is awesome. And then every now and then you go through this like you just said, this realization of like, wow, I'm really high up in the air. But then you just I don't know, it's so safe. The people who do the flying are like the best. They're the greatest company. They've done a bazillion Mary Poppins, and you always know that you're in really good hands. But I really wish I could put that red coat on and fly with her umbrella at one point during this show.
And I was actually thinking that the flying would be super fun, but I know Touch like shared a video on social showing the Mary Dash, and I'm like, oh, that would be the end of it for me when you're running from the top of the theater down to the bottom, and then not have to look winded after. And I'm like, no,
Is it?
that would
That is
this is a fun.
phenomenally impressive, honestly. Because like I knew it, in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, no, she's got to like run down and it's quick. But it wasn't until seeing that video that I was like, holy moly, she is running down like 4 flights of stairs at like warp speed.
I
It's
know, and then there's
impressive.
a
She's a
costume
very
change.
impressive
Like,
person.
she
Yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
wild.
Well, she's Mary Poppins. She's practically perfect. So
There it is. You just nailed it. Well, I always end on this question, and of course, it's the holiday season. There's a few shows that are remaining. Why should people come and check out Mary Poppins for the holidays?
it's a great question, and it's a perfectly appropriate show for the holidays because it is about family, togetherness, love, and believing in magic. And I think that's everything that the holidays should be about. So if you love classic tunes that will be singing in your heads for days to come afterwards, putting you in just the brightest of moods, Mary Poppins is the perfect show for the holiday season. And need I say again, there's flying. So
Well, there you have it, everybody. Matt, you have been delightful. Guys, this show, I can't say enough great things about it. It's perfect for all ages. Come see Mary Poppins at Theater Under the Stars. It's playing now through December 24th. You can get your tickets at tuts.com. Come and have a practically perfect evening with Mary, Bert, and all the rest of this phenomenal cast. You will not be disappointed. Thank you again, Matt. You have been phenomenal.
thank you. It's been a joy talking with you and hope to see everyone there. Come see us.
Bye, everyone.